Greediness and egoism has to perish. Fairness and cooperation have to win. Is Grand Renaissance Dam a curse? Or a blessing? It is a curse if it is against humanity. It is a blessing if it is vehicle for fairness and cooperation. The problem is that the world is governed by political correctness, not with truth. The one dominating the air can deceive the world as truth is with its side. Before diving into the main point, let me raise some of the physical facts. Nile River. It is the longest river in the world. It is 6,695 km long. It is located in Africa, latitude 40 south to 310 north. It is shared among 10 countries: Ethiopia, Burundi, Democratic Republic of Congo, Egypt, Eritrea, Kenya, Rwanda, Sudan, Tanzania and Uganda. The total population of these countries is about 280 million. It crosses several climatic regions of Africa. Tropical rainforest to desert. The Grand Ethiopian Renaissance Dam. The Grand Ethiopian Renaissance Dam GERD, formerly known as the Millennium Dam, is under construction in the Benishangul Gumuz region of Ethiopia, on the Blue Nile River, which is located about 40 kilometers east of Sudan. The project is owned by Ethiopian Electric Power Corporation. The site of the dam was originally identified when the United States Bureau of Reclamation first made a survey of the Blue Nile River between 1956 to 1964. Construction of the Grand Renaissance Dam started in April 2011 and it was estimated to cost 80 billion Ethiopian birr or $4.7 billion. The engineering, procurement and construction contract was awarded to Seleni Construction. Grand Renaissance Dam's primary objective is to generate an electric power of 6,000 megawatt, with an annual energy production of 15,130 gigawatt-hour per year to cover the power supply demand in Ethiopia as well as in the East Africa region. The dam's construction is expected to create up to 12,000 jobs. Approximately 20,000 people will be resettled during the course of the project. The Grand Ethiopian Renaissance Dam project was expected to be completed by July 2017. However, it was long delayed for different reasons. Electric power overview in East and North Africa. Currently Africa generates 4% of global electricity, from which 3/4 of that is used by South Africa, Egypt and other countries along the North Africa littoral. World Bank has also reported only 24% of the population of sub-Saharan Africa has access to electricity, whereas other low-income countries have reached with 40% coverage. It can be seen that currently Egypt electric coverage is 3 times of Sudan, 4.4 times of Ethiopia, 5.5 times of Kenyan, 12 times of Uganda and 7 times of Tanzania. Why Ethiopia demanded the electric power generation. 1 billion people, mostly concentrated in sub-Saharan Africa and South Asia, live their daily lives without electricity. Access to electricity in Ethiopia was reported at 44.3% in 2017 according to the World Bank collection of development indicators. This represents a fundamental barrier to progress for a sizable proportion of the population, and has impacts on a wide range of development indicators, including health, education, food security, gender equality, livelihoods, and poverty reduction. The power demand of Ethiopia has been growing at an average rate of 25% per year during the last 5 years, and the demand forecast for the next 5 years is estimated to be 32% per annum as per Ethiopian Electric Power Corporation. The people and government of Ethiopia are funding the Grand Ethiopian Renaissance Dam project, which will not only serve Ethiopia, but Sudan and Egypt as well. Sudan and Egypt depend on the Nile River for their water and signed agreements on the share at the colonial era without involving Ethiopia, although 85% of the river flows from Ethiopia. Since the objective of this video is to provide basic information about the benefits of the Grand Renaissance Dam, especially those who have been hearing the Egypt's misleading and evocative information, will benefit to a balanced view of the situation. Therefore, I will not be diving into all the courses of the negotiation and disagreement process that the three countries have been passing through. Here, I am going to pinpoint the benefits that the Grand Renaissance can bring about for Ethiopia and downstream countries Egypt and Sudan. Now let us discuss about what Grand Renaissance Dam will bring about. The Grand Ethiopian Renaissance Dam will increase the current Ethiopian electricity supply by triple. The power will also be exported to other East African countries to improve the coverage of the electricity. The Grand Ethiopian Renaissance Dam will be the hub for clean and renewable energy supply for Ethiopia and other African countries at cheaper prices. In effect, it will be a catalyst for people-to-people relation as well as the trade between the regions. It will not stop here. It can also benefit the downstream countries, mainly Sudan and Egypt. Benefit number 1. By removing silt and sedimentation. It is estimated between 157.2 and 207.2 million tons of sediment are transported annually from the Ethiopian highlands along the Sobat, Tigris and Blue Nile, which are the main sub-basins of the Nile. The center dam was constructed on the Blue Nile in Sudan for irrigation purposes with capacities of 1 billion meters square in 1925. Due to the sediment deposition over a span of 61 years, the reservoir has lost 71% of its original capacity. The Rosiers Dam was constructed on the Blue Nile in Sudan to store water for irrigation as well as hydropower with 3 billion capacities in 1966. It lost 36% of its original capacity in a span of 28 years. Those quantities of sedimentation over the years made the Rosiers and Sennar dams lose their water storage and electric power generation capacities. More than 6.285 billion tons were accumulated in Asuan High Dam in between 1964 and 2008. These sediments entail huge costs to Sudan and Egypt due to reduction in efficiency of hydropower, infrastructure maintenance costs, dredging costs of clogged irrigation channels, etc. That has continued power failures due to the silt accumulation of the turbines at Rosiers Dam as announced by the government in official statements. The sedimentation in Blue Nile will be reduced by up to 86% when the Grand Ethiopian Renaissance Dam is working with its full capacity. I will say it again. The sedimentation in Blue Nile will be reduced by up to 86% when the Grand Ethiopian Renaissance Dam is working with its full capacity. Reduction of costs for dredging of canals could save about $50 million per year only for Sudan, not to speak of saving in turbine maintenance and replacement costs, ease of gate operation, etc. Grand Ethiopian Renaissance Dam will allow underperforming downstream hydropower schemes to perform more effectively as there will be more reliable sediment-free and regular availability of water throughout the year. Indeed, Grand Ethiopian Renaissance Dam will benefit Sudan and Egypt immensely by delivering steady water flow throughout the year. This may cost Ethiopia to save the dam by taking range of mechanisms to minimize the sedimentation at Grand Ethiopian Renaissance Dam. Benefit number 2, by regulating the water flow. Grand Ethiopian Renaissance Dam will benefit Sudan and Egypt immensely by delivering steady water flow throughout the year. Once the Grand Ethiopian Renaissance Dam is working with full capacity, the water flow in Blue Nile will be in between 3,600 to 3,800 meters square per second throughout the year. The dam will be capable of handling a flood of 19,370 cubic meters per second, will reduce alluvium in Sudan by 100 million cubic meters and also facilitate irrigation of around 500,000 hectares of new agricultural lands. It will also reduce approximately 40 kilometers of flooding in Sudan, upon its completion. Hence, regulated flow of water from the Renaissance Dam will improve agriculture. Benefit number 3. By conserving water in Ethiopian highlands. Water evaporation from Aswan High Dam, as well as other dams in Ethiopia, equates to around 19 billion cubic meters. Grand Ethiopian Renaissance Dam will reduce the capacity of the Aswan High Dam, therefore saving about 6 billion cubic meters of water. The GERDP will minimize the evaporation loss from dams located in less favorable downstream desert settings. It is estimated 14.3 billion cubic meters evaporate from Aswan High Dam and 4.7 billion cubic meters of water from other dams in Sudan annually. By contrast, evaporation loss from the full development of the Grand Ethiopian Renaissance Dam is likely to be no more than 0.4 billion cubic meters. I repeat. By contrast, evaporation loss from the full development of the Grand Ethiopian Renaissance Dam is likely to be no more than 0.4 billion cubic meters. This is due to the topography of the Grand Ethiopian Renaissance Dam location and the fact that the reservoir is to be built in a deep gorge on the Abay Blue Nile River, which will help in minimizing the water's direct exposure to sunlight. Even the water evaporates in Ethiopian highlands. It forms the cloud and feed Nile back in the normal water cycle. But the 14.3 billion cubic meters water evaporates at Aswan Dam disappears in the Sahara Desert. These are the overwhelming facts. If the Grand Ethiopian Renaissance Dam has all these benefits, why do Egypt and Sudan oppose the construction? The above facts witness that it is not an issue of fairness and hazardous effect that drives Egypt and Sudan to oppose the project. Especially Egypt leaders has been known for using the Nile River issue to divert the political attention of their citizens.
Today we are showing solidarity with the people in Egypt because Sisi is attending the United Nations General Assembly meeting and he's going to talk about his failed war on terror in order to legitimize his military dictatorship. Down with Sisi, his military dictatorship.
To get an excuse for their failure to come up with alternative solutions for their resource needs. to protect the wealthy military leaders and Arab countries' investors who own large-scale agricultural investment in Egypt. Maintain its control over the resource. To get an excuse for its wasteful water resource utilization. The writer strongly believes that it is through honest discussion, fairness, cooperation and trust that all parties will sustainably address the issue. Egypt shouldn't stack on history and has to accept today's reality and be ready for honest negotiation that will benefit all fairly. Egypt and all other parties have to engage Africa. It has indigenous traditions to sustainably resolve conflicts. We still have the room to resolve the issues in genuine win-win situation. By doing so, the Grand Ethiopian Renaissance Dam will provide electricity for Ethiopia and Africa. Break the vicious circle of poverty. Be vehicle for prosperity of the countries. Increase agricultural productivity of all parties. Promote regional integration. Promote trade and tourism among the parties in the region. Bridge the countries of East and Northern Africa. Bring political stability in the region. Promote industrialization in the region. The Grand Ethiopian Renaissance Dam will be a reality very soon. The Grand Ethiopian Renaissance Dam will be the pride of Africa. The Grand Ethiopian Renaissance Dam will bring Africa closer. Thank you for watching. Please share to others to spread the truth. Subscribe the channel to help the writer to do more and the information to spread in the world.